Hi, my name is Preston Hong, and I'm the director of the Honor Student Council, a committee of the Saddleback Associated Student Government. Today, my fellow committee members and I will be showing you how to enroll and apply successfully at Saddleback College. First, type in www.saddleback.edu into a web engine, and once you get to the homepage, hover over your mouse to the Apply Now button. When a drop-down menu appears, navigate to the New Students option and click it as it's shown on the screen. You will now be redirected to this page, which lists some basic instructions you will need to complete as a new student entering at Saddleback. You should review the other material on your own time, but for now, click on the red underlined words, Submit an Application. A new tab will pop up, and here you will be creating an open CCC account so you can apply to Saddleback College or any other California community college. Click Sign In if you have applied to a California community college before, else click Create an Account. This page indicates that you must have an email address in order to create an open CCC account. If you do not already have a free email account, feel free to create one using the sources listed. If you are a graduating high school student, it is very important for you to not use your high school email, as you will most likely not have access to that email after you graduate from your high school. Once you have an email address, click Begin creating an account. On this page, you will enter personal information such as your first, middle, and last name, as well as an appropriate suffix if you have one. There is also an option to check a box if you don't have a first or middle name. Check these appropriately. You can also input if you have a previous name, such as a maiden name, or preferred name that is different from your legal and/or previous name. At the top of the slide, you will see what it looks like if you selected yes to the preferred name option. Enter the appropriate preferred first, middle, and last name. Next, enter your date of birth using the drop-down boxes for the month and day and using 4 digits for the year. Below, you will be asked to enter your social security number. If you plan to apply for admission to college or financial aid, you must click this box. Read the information about Social Security and taxpayer ID numbers. For students with either or, indicate which type of number you will enter, either your Social Security number or taxpayer ID number. Make sure this information is available to you when you apply. If you do not have a Social Security or taxpayer ID number, check the appropriate box. Now click Continue, and you will be taken to this page. Here you'll enter your contact information. Be sure to use your personal email address. Now enter your main telephone number following the same format used on this slide. Either a cell phone or home phone number will work. For students with a permanent address outside of the United States, check the first box. For students who do not have a permanent address because of homelessness or housing insecurity, check the second box. And for students with a permanent address, begin entering your information directly into the appropriate sections without checking a box. Now you'll create an OpenCC account, username, and password. Usernames must be a minimum of 6 characters, which can be a mix of letters, numbers, and special characters. And when creating a password, be sure to follow the appropriate criteria of 7 to 20 characters, consisting of letters and at least one number. Below, you'll be also asked to create a 4-digit security PIN for your account. Make sure to record this information somewhere safe for later use. Lastly, you will need to select some security questions in the event you forget either your user or password, or if you want to change your password or PIN. Select 3 security questions from the drop-down menu and type the answers into the appropriate entry box. Please take a picture or write down your answers to these questions for future reference. Click the box to the left of the I'm not a robot to complete the reCAPTCHA certification. Now click Create an Account to finish creating your OpenCCC account.
Once your account has been created, click Continue to proceed with logging into your newly made CCC application account. Simply type in your username and password, which you created in the previous step. Once you have successfully logged into your CCC account, you will be able to begin the registration process for Saddleback College. Click on My Applications, and then press on Start a New Application. The first step will be to fill out your enrollment information. This includes which term you plan on beginning your education at Saddleback, such as fall, spring, or summer of the current year. It will also ask for your educational goal and reasoning for registering for Saddleback College, as well as your intended major or program of study if applicable. If you are not yet sure what you would like to major or study in, that is totally fine. Maybe there is a subject that excites you or sounds interesting. Answer this question the best you can, and know that you can always go back and change that response once you find your passion. The next step will be to confirm your open CCC account information. If there is any information that is incorrect or needs to be updated, click on Edit Account. If all looks correct, then scroll down on this page. Below your account information, you will find a place to type in your mailing address. Make sure to accurately spell your street address, city, and zip code, as well as checking one or both of the two boxes that asks whether this is also your permanent address or if your mailing address is outside the United States. Make sure your information looks correct, then click Continue to proceed with your registration application. Next is the section that asks about your past educational experience. Answer the following question about your current college enrollment status, if any, as well as question in regard to your high school education and status.
Following the previous slide, you will answer the last high school you attended, if you were homeschooled or if you did not attend high school and were not homeschooled. If you attended a high school or were homeschooled, make sure you type in what country your school was in and state, if applicable. Finally, enter the name or city of your high school or homeschool organization. Then make a selection from the list. In this section, you will select the citizenship status that pertains to you. Next, you will select your military status. This next part of the application is about your current residency status. You will first select yes or no if you have lived in California continuously since the specified date. Next, you will check any and all out-of-state activities you have participated or been a part of. Finally, you will check yes or no if you have ever been in court-ordered foster care. You will now specify your needs and interests. Please specify whether you are comfortable reading and writing English. Additionally, decide if you are interested in receiving information about money for college. Now, click yes or no if you are receiving any of the stated assistance programs. The next part of this section asks if you are interested in participating in a sport while attending college. Click on the response that best describes your interests. The last part of the section asks to check all the programs and services in which you are interested in and would like to receive more information about. Please click all that apply.
Now you are presented with optional demographic information. This information is collected for research purposes, and if you are uncomfortable responding, you do not have to. If you wish to respond, you will be asked your gender and your sexual orientation. Choose from the available options. Once again, providing this information is optional, and you may also decline to state. Next, you will be asked the education levels of the parents or guardians who raised you. Select from the options in the list. You will now be asked about your race or ethnicity. If you are of Hispanic or Latino origin, check yes, and then specify below by checking the boxes which ancestry groups you identify with. If you are not of Hispanic or Latino origin, select no and proceed to the next section. Select which major ancestry groups you identify with, and then choose from the more specific ancestry groups where applicable. Now you are ready to move on to the supplemental questions in the next section.
So to log into my site, you will need to use your student ID number and a student PIN, a 4-digit PIN of your choosing. Remember this, write it down, enter it here. In the event you forget your PIN, you may answer a security question if you're choosing. I'd advise recording the response to your security question. If you have already completed any coursework prior to the first day of term, enter that here. And enter your date, place of birth here. The 1098T form, if you would prefer it to be mailed to you electronically, select yes. If not, select no. And enter your individual tax identification number here. If you are a US citizen, enter your social security number here. If you're interested in taking music program classes at Saddleback College, select yes to this option. If you're pursuing teaching, select yes to this option. If otherwise, select no to both options. And if you're taking an adult education class held at Capital USD or Saddleback USD, select yes. If otherwise, select no. And also note these are not the regular classes held at Saddleback College or the Emeritus Institute. If you've already graduated high school, enter that date here. If you are about to or will graduate high school in the near future, enter that date here. If you are concurrently taking classes at Saddleback while a four-year college student, select yes. If otherwise, select no.
Here, you'll be given the option to review responses. Click the Review My Application button if you choose to do so. It is strongly recommended. Now, you will see the request for consent to release information. Read the appropriate information and click the I consent button if you understand and agree to the terms. Now, you're on the last step to finishing your application. Please note that there are no changes can be made to your application once it's been submitted. Click the two appropriate boxes if you understand and acknowledge the following terms and conditions. Finally, click the blue Submit My Application. Great job. Now we'll be moved to the confirmation page. You will see your name, CCC ID, college, term, email, date and time, and confirmation number. Take a screenshot of this page if you choose to do so for your own personal records. You have now finished the first step to applying to Saddleback College.